video, we are going to talk about value-based bidding strategies on Google Ads and how to use it to make more profit in your business. For you guys who aren't familiar with value-based bidding strategies, I'm going to clarify that for you right up front here, which is basically instead of bidding for a cost, what you're willing to pay for a click, telling Google, I'm willing to pay this much for a lead, or a quality lead, a lead that buys, a lead that's worth this much profit, this much sales revenue, which is all different ways you can actually do it and skin a cat, if you will, of which almost nobody's talking about these different options available to you, which is where you're going to be able to make more money in your business, a lot more, by understanding value-based bidding strategy and take it to its fullest extent for your business. I'm going to give you several examples of different companies where we did this and the different situations and different configurations where we did this and how much money it made, so you can understand how much you can stand to gain doing this and installing this in your business as well. So make sure you stay to the end of the video to get those profit studies that I'm going to have for you at the end of the video as well. With that said, before I get into the content, if you don't know who I am, I'm Corey Zyman, the owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for our clients before charging management fees. The idea being that we raise your profitability on your campaigns a certain minimum amount to offset the fee before taking any management fees. We are the only agency on the planet who offers anything like this, which is tell you something about the quality of the information that you're getting on this video here today. So with that said, what value-based bidding is about is setting up the systems so that the algorithm that Google has that tries to get you more profit, if you let it, the information it needs to get you more profit. It's really simple. Still, it really makes me scratch my head when people complain about what results they're getting out of their ad account, but they don't actually tell Google where the successes that they've brought them and vice versa, where they're actually at. Ultimately, you may say, like what most people do, that, oh, how many variables are there? I sell red shoes. I'm targeting all the main keywords already. Red shoes for sale, buy red shoes, cheap red shoes, whatever. Why do I have to tell Google about anything? The reality is there's a huge difference between one person who searches for buy red shoes and another. They have different income classes. They're from different areas of the country. They've had different web browsing behaviors prior to making that search, all of which determine whether somebody's likely to buy or not likely to buy. In the e-commerce space, people get it more so than when they're generating leads. That is, they want to import the sales conversions they get from their shopping cart. But in a lot of cases, they also don't track the people who buy offline. If you take credit cards over the phone, people don't think it's that important or don't know they can do it one or the other. Plug that sales revenue back in their ad account so the algorithm that's supposed to be getting them more results over time understands how to get them the more results. And if it's over 10% of your orders that occur offline like that, you're doing yourself a huge major disservice not uploading that extra sales revenue to your account, because the people that typically trend on buying the bigger orders, spending the most money, are going to typically skew to buy offline versus online. So you're basically training the algorithm that Google has to get you small orders. And then the bigger orders, you have much higher ROI. So you're leaving like potentially a third of the profit that you could be making on the table by not also throwing in there that extra 10, 20% of sales volume into your account that you're getting offline. And if it's half of your orders that occur offline, you're really kicking your own ass here, not uploading your phone-based or offline-based orders to your business. But in lead generation, almost nobody tracks sales and then use their sales revenue to plug into their ad account. And of course, Google can only make you so much money when all they know how to do is get you a certain phone call at a certain cost. There's certain calls that are worth $300 to your business. There's certain ones that are worth 20. You have to be able to assess a person who searches for XYZ keyword or from this part of the city or this state is worth as a whole if you're going to be able to make the massive money that you want to make in your business, millions of dollars a year in your business, because this is how it's typically done and this is how it's made. If you set up the right conversion data flow of data into your ad account, it really gets to be, I hate to use the word easy when it comes to making millions of dollars running ads for your business a year, but it really does become easy. Assuming you have the right website, you set up your ads the right way, you feeding in the data about what's working and what's not working will make your ads more profitable year after year after year, doing nothing, literally nothing. You could get 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% more sales revenue and profit year over year in your business just by having the data flow in, because it's going to keep figuring out more and more and more what's worth paying more for and what's worth paying less for, or not cutting it out of your click stream altogether. Why would you want to not take advantage of something that makes you money literally by doing nothing? Literally nothing. I mean, what in your business is going to keep making you a higher and higher profit margin in your business by doing nothing like that? You should be stopping everything you're doing. And if you don't have time, figure out a way to make time, cut out something else to get this one thing installed in your business, because it's going to be able to make you more money on an ongoing basis with no additional cost in what you're doing, or very respectively no extra cost. And if you're doing like if you have a local product selling business, tracking whether somebody sees your ad and then comes in and buys, or at least comes into your store, makes all the difference in getting those campaigns to scale to millions of dollars a year. And it's literally the deciding factor whether you can do it or not, because you can't optimize for your ads based upon what's bringing people into the store versus not bringing them into the store. How the hell are you going to be able to figure out how to scale an ad campaign profitably for your business? You basically almost made it impossible for yourself. So with that said, this process is it's a little complicated and daunting for a new person who's never seen or heard about it before to do, but it's not rocket science. And if you don't know how to do it, then it's worth every dime to pay someone to set this up. You'll at least know enough about this to hire somebody to do it the right way and the way that will work the best for you. Then you can just run out there, go ahead and do it, and then take advantage of what you can make, the big money you can make once this is installed in your business finally. So with that said, what the process is, a 5-step simple process, value-based bidding in your account. So instead of using cost per click or manual bidding, you can use maximize conversions or maximize conversion value bidding strategies, which take advantage of value-based bidding strategies that you can have. So what you do, at the very first thing you do when you want to use value-based bidding strategies, you want to set up new conversion goals in your account that are going to track what you need to track. And so whether you're going to track sales or profit or leads that are qualified versus not qualified, leads by how well they're scored, which we'll talk about more in a minute, you need to set up a goal in your account first, because you're not able to track this stuff retroactively. So you set up the goals first, and then when you start importing these events that are whether somebody buys or not later on, it'll be able to be successfully uploaded to your account because you set up your goals before the event happened, if that makes sense. With that said, you set up the goals, and the by far easiest way to do this, yes, you may not like paying the money. By far easiest way to do this is just to simply set up a CallRail account to track form fills that are coming in on your site using their form tracking systems, which once you get a simple piece of JavaScript code on the site, it'll start tracking all the forms on your entire website and the necessary data that you need to do this process, as well as the phone calls that come in, as well as the text message leads that come in, as well as, if you want to, also chat leads that come in, which I don't recommend using CallRail for your chat lead tracking. You use Live Chat Inc. for that. But CallRail will track all the main lead sources you have, and with that, you're already prepped to do this process. What this whole system is predicated on is something called a Google Click ID. Google assigns a serial number to every ad click that goes through their system, if you will. And this Google Click ID is found, like if you go click on a Google ad to test this for yourself, you'll see at the end of the URL, in the URL bar of the page you're taken to, it'll say GCLID equals, and then a random string of characters and letters at the very end of that URL. That's your Google Click ID. CallRail, if you set it up on your site and enable form tracking and everything you need with it, it'll actually, every call that comes in, every form fill that comes in, it'll grab that Google Click ID from the URL bar for you automatically, so that later on when you want a lead buys, if you will, you can just go cross-reference what that user's click ID was when they initially filled out the form, when they initially called, and then you can give that Google Click ID back to Google. Then allows you to track sales in your ad account versus just leads. So step one is setting up your CallRail account, a conversion goal to track whatever you're going to track, whether it's sales, profit, whatever. And then those conversion goals, you're going to mark them secondary, whether it's one or multiple. You can actually track whether a lead's qualified or not, and then sales. So you can actually transition from optimizing for qualified leads. And then when you get enough sales data, optimizing for sales revenue, which I recommend doing if you want the quickest way to millions, because it takes longer to build up sales data than it does qualified lead data or leads that are so-called qualified. But whether you're doing one or multiple things, you want to track these so-called offline conversion goals that you're going to set up to track these things and mark them secondary. By marking those goals secondary, Google's not going to consider that data that you're going to upload and start accumulating in the background for steering the campaigns. Eventually, mark it primary and it will, but at first you're just going to set up the goals to start building up data so that you can eventually switch over to using that data to steer your campaigns with. Once you've done that, you have step 2, which is to create your scoring strategy. So with that said, are you going to, through this offline conversion goal you set up in your Google Ads account, are you going to upload sales that occur that you've got coming in through your ad campaigns or from your campaigns? Are you going to track lead score so you can take every lead you have coming in, score it between 1 and 10, and then upload that lead score to your account? The conversion value would be where the lead score goes. You could upload the profit. Instead of sales revenue, you have much different profit margins on one job you have if you're doing, let's say, service work versus another. Instead of uploading the sales revenue, you could upload the profit so you can have the ad account actually optimize for more profit over time, which is going to get you a more accurate result because obviously what you want is profit. And if it's going to optimize for profit, it's damn well going to make you the most profit. You would also upload whether a lead is qualified or not. This is the most common, I would say, we have at our firm, where a client's going to say, this lead was sellable, this one wasn't. That way, and we upload that leads that are qualified so that the system that Google has is going to optimize for more qualified leads that we actually want, not just any lead. And it obviously makes you more money because it identifies you're not going to be wasting as much money on leads that aren't qualified, for one, but two, the leads that are qualified and you have a low cost per qualified lead, it's going to double, triple down on it. Effectively, if you say, let's say, the reason why this makes so much money is, let's say you work out that you could pay $30 for a phone call in your business and no more to be profitable as a whole. Some calls are going to be $40, but close at twice the rate as an average lead from any other keyword. Well, you simply won't get any those super good quality cherry leads from this keyword that produces a $40 cost per call, but converts at twice the rate an average call does, if you don't actually upload and optimize your ads based upon qualified leads versus just a lead in general, which is why you do this. Why it makes at least 3 times as much profit out of your ads than just optimizing for a certain cost per call or cost per form fill. So once you've figured out what you're going to upload, again, if you want the most money out of Google Ads, I would recommend, if you're generating leads, or should I say, this is going to be for people generating leads with their campaign or e-commerce businesses selling products for over $100. I'm going to upload the leads and I'm going to upload the sales or profit, one or the other. If you have a big difference in the profit margin on one customer versus another, I'm going to upload profit, not sales, because you're going to get a more accurate result that way. But what you'll be able to do is ultimately at the very beginning of what you're doing, you'll just optimize for leads itself, phone calls, form fills. Then once you've racked up 30 conversions of qualified leads, you're going to switch the campaigns to optimize for qualified leads. Then once you've gotten at least 30 sales, you're going to switch the campaigns to optimize for sales. And what you're doing with that scenario I just described is you're taking advantage of what data you have at the current time that you're at. Eventually, the best results comes from optimizing for sales and profit, right? But it takes a long time to get a certain amount of sales with your campaign. So what do you do in the meantime to get you to the end goal you're looking for as quickly as possible? Is you utilize the data you do have, knowing that if you don't at least have 30 conversions to work with, the algorithm isn't going to benefit from that conversion data that you have that you're uploading to the account. So with that, it's like a tiered strategy. You optimize, and this sometimes we'll optimize for like micro conversions, like partial form fills, people adding things to cart, then optimize for qualified leads, then we'll optimize for sales. And then we'll do it in 3 stages like that. Utilizing whatever data point we have to work with, that we have enough data on, as we ramp up the campaign, we'll switch. Step 3 of this process is determine the import method you're going to use and schedule. So you can either do automated importing of the data to your account, that is whether a lead's qualified or not qualified, or whether they bought or did not buy and how much they spent. You could use a CRM system like Salesforce, like Zoho, to, in your business, you already track your use of CRM, and when somebody buys, you can have it fire that information about somebody who bought and how much they spent to your Google Ads account automatically with no additional effort required to upload that to Google Ads. Myself, though, I don't like that method because it's not going to work as accurately as physically looking who bought inside the CRM, go into my CallRail account, try to find the original call or form fill that came in, and then upload it manually, because a lot of times the people that call in initially or turn into a lead initially aren't the people who bought. This happens a lot, obviously, in people selling to businesses instead of end consumers. But even people that are calling in, a lot of times it's the wife that calls and then it's the husband that buys. Well, your data loop is not going to work properly when you use an automated system, because there's no additional logic built into the system to correct for that, so to say. I mean, sort of there is, of course, to the fullest level possible, because you could technically in your CRM have that Google Click ID copy to all leads that are tied to that certain company or certain account. But at the end of the day, just take my word for it. It's not nearly as good as doing manual. I'm going to do manual on every account that we have. Why? Because it doesn't cost that much extra money, and it's going to get you the most conversion data and the most accurate conversion data. And if the data is even 20% more accurate, it's worth it to pay somebody, even if you had to, an extra $500 a month to upload super clean data to your account, because it's going to make you at the very least 3 times as much money when you have that higher level conversion data going into your account, so you can do the maximum level of value-based bidding with using it. Manual wise, it's just very simple. There's an uploads menu in your Google Ads account under where the conversion menu is, and you upload a spreadsheet of the Google Click IDs going back to that of the people who bought or the people that you verify were qualified leads, and really, that's all it takes. I mean, it's a tiny bit more complicated than I'm explaining. It takes a bit more than the Google Click ID, but for the most part, that's all it is. As long as the Google Click ID of the person who bought or whatever, and then if you're uploading sales like what they spent, you can upload it and it's going to show up in your account on all the different levels: time of the day of the week, keyword, income level, gender level, on and on and on, that you can use as a human optimizer of your ads to optimize things. Or more importantly though, it's about the algorithm that drives the ads, being able to get better and better results for you, given, like, even if you're running search ads and you think, well, I know the keywords that work, I don't need this. There's, in a competitive market, 15 guys cycling in and out of the top 4 ad spots on Google. Whether your ad shows up or not could be dictated on a person looking like a customer who buys from you at a high rate versus not. But if you don't upload the conversion data, it's just going to show up for everybody, buyers and non-buyers. And then you have always this inefficiency in your system. Plus, you want to show up 100% of the time for the grand slam type prospects on top of it before anybody else. But yeah, and it obviously would take bidding twice as high per click for those people, but you're never going to know where it's worth paying twice as much unless the conversion data has been racked up in your account enough for the system to know where it's worth charging you twice as much per click, so you would show up every single time for that type of prospect moving forward. This is why it makes so much extra money in your company when you have this extra data going in your account. So you could use a spreadsheet, which would be what I recommend, or you can do a CRM integration for automated import of this revenue data to your account, or offline conversion data to your account. Step 4 is you create redundant systems. I kind of basically already touched on this. To tell you the truth, what I typically see when I tell our clients that we have as short-term clients at our firm, because we do like one-time setups for clients, and then I'll tell them to do what I'm telling you to do on this video and how much it works and how much it matters. And then they'll do it for 1 or 2 months and then they just stop. What you want to do is get it set up so you're paying somebody as their actual full-time job, or you're hiring them, like, let's say 10, 20 hours a week to do this for you. And they're going to do it every month, regardless of you telling them, getting in the way. You got to get it completely where you don't have to do nothing. It's just going to happen anyway, so to say. And you could hire us at our firm to do it for you, or you could just go get yourself an outsourced data entry person, teach them how to do it. The bottom line is, you got to get and take it seriously. If you think you're just going to do it yourself, you're going to probably be like most people who just get tired of it. It's easy to basically to get discouraged because the payoff from doing this doesn't come right away. It comes after you've racked up data in your account for 6 to 12 months. Then it starts to pay, and it pays big once you're multi-years into it already and you've racked up a serious amount of data in your account. So it's not an instant gratification thing, so it's easy to get discouraged, quit right away. Just like going on a diet is. Nobody wants to go and do the pain of being hungry for 6 months to lose weight. So after a week, they give up. So this is very similar to that. So create yourself a redundant system that for sure, it's going to get done. Even if it costs you $500 a month to pay somebody to make sure it gets done, because it's going to pay big in the long run. This is going to give you such an advantage over your competition. It's like being able to go into war at nighttime, night battle with night vision goggles on. Your competition can't see where the customers are worth going after, where the whales are, where they're not. You're going to have it, there aren't. You're going to have a massive advantage on everybody, which is why it makes so much. When I say redundant, you should have an employee that does it. If you're going to have an employee that does it, and you're not going to hire a firm like ours to do it, then you need to automatically have a backup employee that checks to make sure it's done, to make sure this person's actually doing it like they're supposed to. And when they don't do it, they're going to take over. And I can't stress this enough. Once you you complete step 5, you're doing step 5, and you get on this route. We've had a lot of clients who they get great results, for instance, and then they say to themselves, they don't say it outright, but ultimately, I don't want to pay this firm $2,000 a month anymore. I'll just hire somebody for $50 a month to maintain it. And then they'll end up screwing up everything we did because they were trying to save a tiny bit of money. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not tiny, but in terms of the results it's bringing in, it pays for itself, and it is tiny. The whole results go in the garbage can because all the results were predicated on this data flowing into their account accurately and timely. Once you stop uploading the data, guess what happens to your results? They go down once you stop uploading it. So it's like being addicted to heroin. You can't stop once you start. I mean, you can, it's going to be painful as hell. At the very least, half the value of advertising on Google Ads is just the buildup of data in your account because it matters. It has such a huge impact on your results. You build up these results you spend money and optimize the ad account for years because in the end, once you've got an account that's been built up over years with years of data in it, it pays like hell or like no other. You can't just simply stop uploading the data once you're making $1 million a year in sales and a couple $100,000 in profit for yourself. You can't just stop it because you don't like paying the $2,000 anymore because, I hate paying it every month. You're stuck doing it. It's worth doing. You just take it from myself. If you do that, you're going to wreck everything that you built up to try to save a few bucks. Just grit your teeth, pay it. It's because it's worth doing. And if you try getting too cheap about it, of course, the person you have doing it is going to half-ass it. They're not going to pay as much attention to it. There's a lot of clients that once we build things up, they also ask if they can get a discount, which why would you want to pay less for something that works no less than it did before? People just really have a problem with paying a consistent amount of thousands of dollars a month for marketing services. And they take for granted what we did to get it working because it's already done. They think they can now start to take it for granted. No, you have to keep doing it and you have to keep valuing it and taking it as seriously as you did from the beginning, or you're going to screw it all up and you're going to lose everything ultimately. It's just like going back to the diet analogy. I lost all my weight. Why do people usually that go on a diet, 80% of them gain all their weight back? Because they don't take it seriously long term. They take it for granted. So don't be doing that. Step 5, switch the goals you set up to track your offline conversions to primary after you've got 30 to 100 conversions for your conversion goals, whatever you're ended up tracking for the value-based bidding for yourself. And like I said before, what I would recommend if you want the most results, qualified leads and track sales. Ultimately, whatever you're doing now, once you get qualified leads, you'll switch the campaigns to optimize qualified leads by making that goal primary. And then whatever goal you have now to track leads by itself, you mark it secondary. Then once you've got 100 plus or 30 plus sales, then you're going to make the goal that you set up to track qualified leads secondary, and you're going to make the goal that you have to track sales primary. You see how this is going to be like a multi-tier transition process. That'll get you to scale as quickly as you can at the minimum ROI that you need. By the way, you can actually switch your campaigns to optimize for a different goal at any point at an account level by making certain conversion goals primary versus secondary. At the campaign level, because under the campaign settings, you can, under the goal settings, you can actually switch an individual campaign to optimize for one goal. So one campaign could optimize for this goal, this other campaign could optimize for this other goal in terms of its bidding strategy, its value-based bidding strategy. Machine learning and trying to figure out how to get you the most conversions, basically, or the lowest cost per conversion that you can get. Basically getting the cost per conversion that you need and scaling up as quickly as possible. You can do a hybrid strategy if you're particularly sensitive to because most businesses, they build things up. They're now a $3 million a year company and everything's rocking and rolling well. They want more results, as they should. But if you try to switch your campaign conversion goals to optimize for sales versus leads, even relatively big change for your account, you're going to have your ad account go into a half of the results it was getting before you made that change for up to a month. If you can't take that kind of hit in your results to get to the next level, then you should actually set up new campaigns that you're going to run side by side with the existing campaigns you have. They can target the same keywords or audiences or whatever. And you set up that new campaign to optimize based upon the sales data, not lead data. Let it build up in the background. Keep the budget on those new campaigns or new campaign that you have to do that at 10% of your overall ad spend in the account. And you won't notice any fluctuation in your overall results in your account while still building up more long-term potential in your account. Then eventually, once that new campaigns are broken enough, you can actually start to downgrade or depreciate the old campaigns you had that were used to then optimizing for leads, not sales. If you're not sure how to execute this so you have the smoothest transition possible, reach out to me at my agency at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about it and tell you what you stand to gain with it in terms of revenue and profit and what we could guarantee for you and so forth along with it. Do an 8-quarter projection for you. This is what we do for all new clients coming in. If you want to have a conversation like that, you just have to reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. We also sell ad templates, by the way. We've been selling ad templates. That is, if we've worked in a certain market, if you're a plumber, we've worked in the plumbing market, we can sell outright. Instead of offering our agency services, we can sell you the winning ads, landing page templates, campaign templates that you copy paste into your ad account and get the same results we are, while in allowing you to still manage your own campaigns in your account. If you're interested in those, we also sell those. We've got 100 plus different niche market templates that you can use to, frankly, you could even start a new business with that. If you want to get into a nice, easy, passive income business, generate leads for a plumbing business, pretend you're the plumber, answer the phone, say, yes, we'll send somebody out, then call another plumber, say, hi, I got somebody to refer. I want to be able to pay you X, which is 20% less than what you're charging. You literally can have a business just simply by using our template in that way. Or if you want to sell leads to plumbers, you can mark them up because we generate leads at such a low cost. We got several people doing that specifically with our templates before. You can actually, if you want to get into selling product, you can do that. Getting, for instance, a printer toner that we've sold before in the US, you could sell it in a different country that our client doesn't care to sell it in. And using the template, we notice that it sells it in the USA, sell it in the UK, and you have a turnkey business. Anyway, if you're interested in any of those other opportunities, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. Of course, by the way, leave me a comment in the comment section. I get back to every person who leaves me any kind of marketing related question in the comment section as well, usually within the first 24 hours. Getting back to the topic at hand here, value-based bidding strategy. Everything I mentioned is going to set you up so that your bidding strategy, either whether it's maximize conversion value or maximize conversions bidding strategy, you get the fullest value from it because you're actually optimizing for something that correlates more closely with profit in your business. Given a call doesn't make you a profit, call that results in a sale makes you profit. And if you only optimize for calls, you can only be so profitable with your account, bottom line. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody else says in this business. You're not. Machine learning algorithms work off of data. The more accurate of data that it has and the more data it has, the better the results it's going to get. Period, bottom line, end of story. I don't care what anybody says. So if you want to make a ton of money or a lot more money than you're going to get otherwise, you need to set this process up for your business. There's no questions, if, and, or buts about it. If you want to know how much this actually makes, I talk about many times how we do this value-based bidding strategy with offline conversion tracking in our business all the time and how much it makes. But to give you one perfectly good example of how much this actually makes. We had a company, I mentioned this company before, sells house paint. Roughly though, about half of the sales volume comes through the phone and they take the orders to the phone. Why? And which you should do, by the way, as well, because if people call in, you'll get more sales taking their order over the phone versus saying, yeah, you can go back to the site and order anytime you want. Because people are lazy, they'll forget, they'll often get distracted. You don't want to do that. You'll lose 10% or more of your orders actually, forcing everybody to go do it themselves through the cart. It's just like Walmart. They try forcing everybody to go through the self-checkout. People don't like it. They don't want it anymore. People are lazy. Anyway, with that said, we actually got considerably more results when we went ahead and set up the offline conversion tracking process. We went from year-over-year growth of about 50% a year to over 100% a year just by adding that extra thing in there on the second year of the process of growing and scaling this company. And then with that, we started getting even better results when we, instead of doing the uploads every 30 days, we scheduled them for every 3 days and did it religiously every Tuesday, every Friday, which makes a big difference in this, which is why I wanted to bring it up. But once we did that, then the results went on to a whole nother level. Now, naturally, the sales growth did not triple or whatever, because as you start to get, the longer you run a Google Ads account for your business, rate of sales growth and profit growth are going to technically go down because you've picked all the low-hanging fruit. It'll still go up, and that's natural, but it's going to go up at a much higher rate than you're going to have without having that full sales revenue data in your account going in there, which is why you want to do it. And the rate in which you upload, the consistency you upload it, will have a humongous impact on how much money you're going to make from a set amount of ad spend at each respective stage of the game. Also, we had a crime scene cleanup company, to give you a second example. We're talking about lead generation by itself. Once we had our client start to do keypad scoring to indicate which leads were good quality ones that they could sell versus not, forget about just sales tracking, which now starting to get into that. But just on that level, switching, we were able to get terms of the closing rate to a point on the calls we were getting. We went from 30-40% booking rate to 90% booking rate because the algorithm got so smart at figuring out the people who are serious people who want to buy. That's what we were ultimately got. So that's what you're dealing with here. The system is very, very, very intelligent. They've got billions of dollars invested into this algorithm of identifying how to make their ad system better for their users. And you can take advantage of it and you can use it. And ultimately, it got us a few extra leads, but what it did mostly is cut out all the people who just never turn into a customer, which is reason alone to do it. But it did actually get us more leads as well. We went from getting around 30 leads a month for this local market that we were in, which is a pretty big market, to 50, 60 leads a month, on top of the lead quality going up considerably. The cost per lead did go up some, naturally with that. With value-based bidding, you can expect this, which is people have a conniption when they see their cost per click going up. At the end of the day, what you're going for is ROI and cost and getting a good cost per qualified lead. So the cost per lead itself will go up, but the cost per qualified lead certainly should go down when you look at it at that level. And when you start optimizing for qualified leads, of course, the cost per qualified lead is going to go down at the end of the day. You just don't oftentimes realize it until you look at the lead level data like that. And any good advertiser that you run across should be looking at lead level data. Which leads are qualified, which are not, optimizing for qualified leads versus just any lead. It takes more time, and the reason why most agencies don't do it is because they're only being paid $500 a month, and they say, we don't have time enough to do it, and there's no benefit of paying that agency $500 a month to not get the extra level of data into your account. You're just going to end up throwing away 2/3 of the profit because you want to save $1,500 a month on your PPC guy because you don't think they deserve that, and just being greedy about the situation, frankly, because there's no question whether the sales revenue flowing into your account or data about whether a lead's qualified or not flowing into your account is going to make you tons more money. You just have to get behind it. But listen to what I'm saying here. See it out. Yes, it's not a get-rich-quick strategy, but a year down the road, you will see how much of a difference this will impact what you're able to make from your account. So, and with that, for that matter, if you want tons more tips just like this channel is chock full of information just like this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel as a result, you should, because best information you're going to find about how to become a millionaire running ads for your business online, because it comes from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad testing alone and strategy alone at our firm for our dozens of clients. If you want to know what works and what doesn't work straight from the source, which you should, because if you don't do that, you don't know anything about running ads successfully online today. It's too competitive. Then you want to subscribe to this channel and pay attention to it at the very least first. You should also, while you're at it, check out my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog actually has step-by-step instructions and information on how to follow the strategies we're using to guarantee results for our clients, literally speaking as well. So with screenshots, with everything you need. If you haven't checked that out yet and you like the channel, you should definitely check that out as well. Bottom line, I just also want to step out here and say this tracking system, if you don't know how to do it or if you don't want to do it or whatever, you should be paying somebody to do it because it's going to be worth every dime, even if they have to charge you literally thousands to set it up, to get the ball rolling and then hundreds a month to maintain it. How much more you're going to make from ads is triples the conservative number, at least when you look at it over the long term, next 5-10 years, and you've racked up more and more. The amount that it'll affect your results actually increase over time. So you see less of it up front, but the gains that you're going to get, your year-over-year profit increases is going to get larger from it over time. Just so that a lot of you guys, tracking isn't the biggest bottleneck. It's your website, it's your landing pages, it's your pricing strategy. I've helped hundreds of different companies bottleneck their results. A 30-minute consult call with me to find out where the bottleneck is, potentially save you tons of time and tons of effort to get to the next level in your business. And I could tell you which one of it is, based upon myself doing this for companies that I'm also part owners in, having to do it to make sure we're doubling our growth in these e-commerce companies that we also stock in, whether it's the 50 different clients that we have. We're not only just consulting people, I'm not even just consulting people on PPC, but landing pages, tracking, and then the actual business strategy to go along with it as it ties into that. You want to know whether you should be beating your head against the wall like you are, for whether there is a reason for it or isn't, or what the problem is. I recommend just finding out once and for all in 30 minutes, I can evaluate your business and tell you what you need to be doing. With that, I've been offering coaching to people that also need coaching. So with that, if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com as well. With that said, I'll wrap up everything with that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Remember when I said bidding strategies was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.